Hello, welcome to part 21 of 30 Days to Become an Empowered Artist. I'm Bob Baker, and on this one I'm going to talk about a crucial factor to success in the creative arts. I really can't think of a successful musician or writer or visual artist or playwright or designer or whatever who doesn't have this attribute. And if you're struggling with your art, there's a good chance you're not fully embracing the concept I'm going to share in this video. Before I get to that, I just want to remind you, as I post this today, there are only several days left in the Empowered Artist Fan Funding Campaign. It ends at the end of the day on July 2nd, 2014, so I'd really appreciate it, especially if you've been enjoying all these free videos that I've been cranking out for the past few weeks. Please to click on the link somewhere on this page or under the video or above the video or wherever you happen to be watching it, and see how you can participate. You can contribute for as little as $10. When you go to that campaign page, actually you'll see about 8 different levels of participation, and the higher level, the more perks that you get. You kind of know how these Kickstarter type of fan funding campaigns work. I'm actually not using Kickstarter, I'm using rockethub.com. So please do click the link and check it out. I would greatly appreciate it. So what is this key factor that I'm talking about that all the successful artists have? I want you to ask yourself if you're really employing this or making this an active part of your life as an artist. And basically the idea here is one of the big keys to success in a creative field is consistency and repetition over time. I'll repeat that and then I'll explain what I'm talking about. It's consistency and repetition over time. Now, when you got some kind of a new project that you're working on, like you released a new album or you've got an art showing or your new book came out, you're really enthusiastic, and it's really relatively easy to pour a lot of energy into getting the word out and making public appearances, being active on social media, on the internet, reaching out to your email list. Hopefully you do have an email list. Seeking media exposure, doing all these things you do to promote yourself and get out there and share your work with people who need to hear it and see it. But over time, that enthusiasm, kind of like a honeymoon, it sort of dissipates. You lose steam and you get a little distracted and life takes over and you stop being as visible. You stop being as active. Maybe even slow down with your writing or you're playing music or painting or whatever it is that you do. And this is really what separates sort of the hobbyists from the people that either want to go pro or just want to make more of an impact with their art. The truly successful artists are consistent and they continue to crank stuff out and stay in front of people repetitively over time. Not that they're spamming people or bombarding people. Again, this isn't about making announcements about look at me, me, me. It's just staying in front of people with relevant marketing messages, but also creating more and more of your work. I talked in a really early video about the importance of being prolific and honing your craft and just cranking out a lot of stuff. That was part 4 if you want to go back and watch that. And so it really is one of the factors that creates winners in this day and age. Because not everyone is cut out to stay focused and to stay consistent with your message. Creating new stuff, posting new stuff, sharing new stuff, always doing another event. Of course, you gotta work this around your life and your family, and if you have a day job and all this good stuff. But even if you're doing something once or twice a month, do it every month throughout the year. The key here is to be consistent, persistent, and to keep doing stuff consistently over time. For instance, have you ever maybe signed up for someone's mailing list, whether that was a band or an author or whatever, because you really liked their stuff and you wanted to keep up on what they were up to? And maybe you heard from them a lot when there was some tour going on or some new thing that they were promoting. And then 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year went by and suddenly you got an email from them and you had to remind yourself, who is this person again? It sounds familiar. What do they? Oh yeah, they did that one thing that I liked about a year ago. You want to try to avoid that. Again, I'm not talking about bombarding people and annoying them. This is not what this is about. It's just staying active, staying in front of people, continuing to create art and continuing to share it in all the places that make the most sense for you. and to stay at it consistently. This is exactly how I think my career was built. I wrote articles in the early days when I got online, and I shared them with any music website that wanted to share my music marketing and self-promotion tips with their musician audience. And I continued to do that month after month. I was always writing, I was always sharing, I was always asking people, would you like to run this? Go for it. Of course, every article ended with a little blurb about who I was and what my books were and how they could get on my mailing list. And there probably was a time in the late 90s when I was inconsistent, when I would be into it for a while and then get distracted. And around the year 2000, with the new millennium and all that stuff, I just said to myself, man, you got to get serious with this and stay on it. So I made a commitment to consistency and repetition, and it worked. Slowly but surely, my book sales grew, my notoriety grew, my mailing list expanded. I started speaking at more and more events. And in 2004, I got to the point where I could actually quit my day job and support myself 100% from my creative activities. I don't think I would have gotten there if I just had been sort of spotty in when and how I went about things. So I can tell you firsthand that consistency and repetition pay off. So make sure that's part of the equation of how you approach your art and your life. Make time for it. Put it on the calendar. Make it a regular schedule of creating, sharing, promoting, doing events, staying visible. What do you think? Share your comments below or wherever you can do that on this page. Also share this video or this audio podcast, however you're consuming it, with creative friends in your life who could really stand to hear this message. And also be sure to click the link to the fan funding campaign. I would love your support with the Artist Empowerment book and movement. The deadline may just be a few days away. It's July 2nd, 2014. And if you watch it after that date, click the link anyway, because I'll be keeping you updated on ongoing activities related to the movement. So thanks a lot for watching and listening. I'm Bob Baker. I'll be back tomorrow with another segment in 30 ways to become an empowered artist. So long for now.